Mine's more just ringing, like a cricket, ring, if it was just solid and never stopped. I grew up in a cabinet shop working with saw blades and, table saws and all kind of loud music, and played in a rock band in high school. And so I wasn't very good to my ears, in my early life. Somewhere around 50 years old, I went to the doctor and just told him, so I do have this ringing in my ears, and he goes, well, that's just what happens, when you get old, and I've been told that so many times. So I just never really thought much about it. I mean, when somebody tells you there's nothing you can do about it, then I just blocked it out. It was actually my son who finally said, Dad, you've got to do something. You just keep saying, what, huh? You can't hear, and I had originally purchased some of the, once you can get off the internet, actually did my test with some headphones in my car, they were like $300 a piece, and they amplified what was out there. But I didn't like the way it sounded because it's very digital. It sounds like a computer. I could use them at work, but my wife and my family, they didn't sound right. So I just never wore them. I looked around, and this was the first place I called because it's close by. And Dr. Jackson asked a lot of questions, after the assessment, and they were all dead on. So it looks like you can't hear women in low voices. That's, that's correct, So she goes all the way through it. And then she says, okay, we're gonna put these in and we'll see, what you think. And so she had me turn around, and she was turning the other way. So we're facing opposite directions. And she said, can you hear me? I said, yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Do I sound normal? And I said, yes, you do. And that's when I said, box them up. Got to have those. It's a whole different technology. I needed them, and so it just made all the difference in the world. I mean, I can see where somebody with half of the hearing loss that I have would still want them. From the phone call that you place, very easygoing. No one's pushing anybody to do it. You don't feel like it's and it's not just a one-time transaction. It's just real pleasant, and they're genuinely interested in what's going on with me, not just get in and get out and buy the product. They take an interest in you and your family, and they just want you to be happy with your hearing.